I think fundamentally this partnership will make possible for that ability to very speedily lend to farmers and giving them the option of taking a ride on the value of their assets and being able to enjoy that capital appreciation as against being compelled to sell right after harvest. A lot of farmers lose out on an opportunity to earn up to 40% higher income by being able to sell much later. Financing warehouse receipts will first give them a huge advantage from a post-harvest loss standpoint. They will be able to save between 50% and above in average post-harvest losses in the grain value chain, but they also will be able to earn up to 40-45% above prevailing market price at harvest by being able to sell. Now, what the integration of the three platforms, AFEX being a registered commodities exchange in the country and being the foremost private innovative commodities exchange market in Africa, provides that advantage to the farmer and then provides the infrastructure that protects the underlying assets. The technology integration between the bank, the blockchain provider, and AFEX, the commodities exchange, enables speedy transaction and lower transaction costs. So it allows decentralize the lending process and brings in speed and efficiency.
Sterling Bank, we are very good in the agric sector, and we have been looking at providing liquidity for the sector. Not only providing liquidity, also ensuring that the value chain is adequately captured. We have seen that in one of the things in the agric value chain is that the farmers are always the ones that lose out at the end of the day, because there's always, anything they produce to the market, there's always a middleman who will take it and earn more, even more than the farmer. But with this platform, Uber for agro-commodities, and you know how the Uber works. So we're saying agro for agro-commodities means that the farmer himself, from his phone, once he's signed on to the platform, can say he has something to sell, and it goes directly to a buyer who wants to take it from him. So with that, he gains more economic value for his products, and thereby reducing the issue of middlemen in between.
The solution that we are bringing to the Nigerian markets, especially for domestic grain trading, is what we call Uber for grain. What we meant by that is that we will introduce the platform for the users to be able to post order to our platform. From the seller perspective, he needs to bring the commodity into the warehouse of AFEX, and then once the warehouse receipt is issued, then we make a digital representation of that on our platform. Similarly, on the buyer side, he also needs to open a trading account with Sterling Bank and deposit his money with Sterling Bank, because Binkabi platform connects with both AFEX and Sterling. We are able to confirm that the seller has the goods to sell and the buyer has the money to pay, and therefore we can make a swap in one transaction. So at the end of the day, the farmers who are the sellers will receive the payment, and the buyers will receive the commodity warehouse receipt, which they can decide to sell on to other people, or they can actually redeem for the actual commodities in the warehouse. So this is what we call the Uber for grain, because apart from connecting buyer and sellers, we also connecting them with the warehouse providers and also the bank.
Fundamentally, if you look at agriculture in Nigeria, first we have to talk about issues around income to rural poor farmers, ensuring that they are able to earn. And like I mentioned, this provides just that in terms of their income earning capacity. It optimizes their ability to earn and get out of the poverty cycle and further invest better on the farm. The other side is that it increases availability of food for the market. Food is stored, food is easily tradable, brings in a lot of the grain traded into the formal economy and makes it easier for the large processors or large users of these products to be able to buy through a formal chain. It also helps from a food security and food safety standpoint. When foods are stored in formal condition warehouses, AFEX has over 60 warehouses across the country, and these warehouses are able to hold grains and keep them and provide quality and quantity guarantees for the stored products. This protects the integrity of the foods, whether it goes to raw material or it goes to the domestic consumption. You're sure that you have a good quality food that goes to the final table.
We are solving a lot of problems. You are solving storage issues. You are empowering the farmers. Once they're empowered, you are also ensuring food security on the long run. Industries will have raw material. You don't have to import because you can get them locally, even at a good quality, which is some of the things we are working for. So it's part of our contribution to the economy. It's a form of digitization, and which is the future of the world now. So this is something we have brought in an app. And I'm sure you may wonder that how will the farmers get to understand this thing? We plan to do a roadshow by the end of this month, where we'll go to their locations and show them how to use it, show them how to buy into this new concept. And they would ask questions, would do a real demo, real online, real time in front of them. So with that, we'll go to the markets where it's prevalent, where the grains market. So we are bringing value. And when you bring value, automatically people are looking for value. Once you bring value, they will come on board. Even if you are somebody who are looking for where to invest your money, people invest in treasury bills, invest. With this platform, you also can invest in trading in commodities, in agro-commodities specifically. And with that, the earning power of people are being enhanced. So it's going to do a lot of things. On the long run, it's going to do something about futures. So the platform, we hope within the next, once it is launched and people know it, we'll see a lot of actions in the agro-commodities market.
The blockchain technology is essentially help secure the transaction from both trading and financing. So we are launching the domestic market in Nigeria, and that is the first market that we launch in the world. So hey to Nigeria, the first ever blockchain-based commodity trading platform actually launched here with our partners. We are also facilitating cross-border trade. So recently we were involved in a cross-border auction involving Southern African countries, where commodity exchanges now wanting to sell commodities cross borders, but they need a technology for them to be able to settle the transactions after the sale. So Binkabi was selected as a technology platform for that. And also one of the supply chain commodities that we want to focus on is cashew. So every year, and from my country, which is Vietnam. So Vietnam is one of the biggest producers of processed cashew in the world, but it imports a lot of the raw materials from Africa, from Nigeria, but also from Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Tanzania, and Mozambique. From Nigeria alone, there's $500 million worth of export of cashew to Vietnam. However, there are a lot of issues in relation to quality standards, in relation to contract performance. So through the blockchain-based platform of Binkabi, we hope to be able to bring the solution where we can increase the trust between the buyer and the sellers and the contract performance.
One big issue around fintech is security and the ability to provide and protect these private assets. Also, the right of ownership and the right that the customer has over his data, as enabled by the EU Data Protection Act. Fundamentally, blockchain actually provides the encryption and the smart tokenization tools that ensures that these data are kept and all the relevant things that would have done with a paper-based process are tokenized in a smart contract and distributed ledgers. So basically what this technology does is brings in the physical operations that happens at AFEX warehouses, a technology platform for the trading platform, the warehouse reset platform as well, which is the depository supporting the commodities exchange, and then and those are electronic platforms. The bank, on the other hand, has a lending framework and has its own core engine. So the blockchain technology links us to tech platforms and then creates the processes and is able to digitize the contracts between the three parties as well as with the lender.
We have seen that in this sector, once the value chain is properly captured, your losses will be very, very minimal. And in this, even along this Binkabi model we're doing, access to finance for the farmers is there because they were not bankable before. They didn't have collateral. And so with this, we are going to provide, on that platform, you have access to be able to get loans within 5-10 minutes. So that has even shortened the process, and you will get your funds, you get liquidity on time, you can discount it, go buy more, come back, do more. So empowering people to produce more. So we will continue to do what we have. We were the first bank. We've been first in so many things in the Agric-Finance sector. We are the first bank to do the anchor borrower scheme because we believed in it and we went into it. We are the first bank to access the NISA facility. So we've been doing a lot of firsts. And this is also another first for us. And we will continue to do the first in the sector. And we know that the sky is the limit.
With Binkabi, we see ourselves as, at least in a domestic market, a bit like Uber in that sense, that we are able to connect the demand and supply, but also have a way to improve performance and reduce the price. And when it applies to farmers, two things are the main benefits. One is, once a farmer is secured with their commodities in the warehouse, they can either use the platform to sell to a larger number of buyers and therefore increase the price that they can get. If they don't want to sell immediately, they can use the platform to borrow money from the bank, in this case Sterling Bank, and Sterling has committed to provide $30 million towards this program at least. So here we are about unlocking the value in the supply chain of agriculture for the benefit of farmers, of small medium companies who have been struggling to be able to sell and get better price for their produce, but also to be able to access finance at the reasonable rate. At the press conference, CEO of Sterling Bank already made a commitment to the market that the interest rate will be definitely lower than the current prevailing commercial rates. So that is a significant step for the economy where 25% of GDP is actually come from agriculture and it employs 70% of the population.